church cares, and so does the St. Raymond Annadas Foundation for Freedom, Family, and Faith. Hi, I'm Anne DeSantis, Executive Director. In 2015, the Mercedarian Friars came together because they wanted to start a foundation to help families in crisis. And that's exactly what we've been doing over these years. Whether it be something to do with divorce, separation, trauma, job loss, loss of a loved one, or other adversities, we've helped so many families get through those tough times through the spiritual works of mercy. We'd love to hear from you. Please do get in touch with us for our services. They are prayer, priestly consultation, podcasts and videos, and programs and events. We look forward to hearing from you. Just go to nonotus.org and get in touch with me. I look forward to hearing from you. God bless.
Fiat Ministry Network and Patchwork Heart Ministry present Journeys in Faith. Now, here's Anne DeSantis.
Good evening. Welcome to Journeys in Faith here on Fiat Ministry Network. This is Anne DeSantis back again. Great to be here because I have a really super amazing guest. I have my own daughter, Shawn DeSantis. Shawn is the owner of Your Part-Time Princess. It's princess parties and events for children. Shawn, thank you so much for joining me today on Journeys in Faith.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be here today.
Yes, Shawn, we have so much to talk about. And, you have your own journey in faith, which is a wonderful journey that I've even been able to watch as you've developed and grown since you were younger, and watched you grow in your faith and how much you love it and how much you like to live it every single day of your life. So let's just start out with whatever you want to share with. When did you feel in your life that your faith became a lot more important to you? I know it always was, but.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. Well, yeah, I guess I'll just start from the beginning because you have a lot to do with that. I have two amazing parents who raised me in the faith, always went to church and celebrated the Catholic faith, which was absolutely wonderful. And as we got older, we started to participate in youth group and different activities that also helped with the faith. But I have a lot to be grateful for to my wonderful parents who raised me in the faith. And in adulthood, it even means a lot to you to see how you have been raised in such a wonderful faith and then to start to live it even more.
That's right. And of course, we all know people in our lives. We know friends, we know neighbors, we know coworkers, we know people that we went to school with. And of course, it's a different relationship when it's parent to child. And of course, we have those memories of your baptism, of your first communion, of your confirmation, but it wasn't just something that you did in a mechanical way. I'm pretty sure to say that you had faith from the very beginning of your life, and it meant something to you from an early age. Are there any memories that you have in growing up, maybe when you were younger, you were homeschooled, as I know, as you know, but not everybody who's watching this video, they know that. What was it like for you on a daily basis, kind of living that out? Because it was you and your sister growing up, homeschooling, and, being able to be around other people too that also shared faith.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Well, yeah, of course I had faith even at a young age. And I do remember those wonderful sacraments and the celebration of each sacrament growing up, very pivotal moments. And then as you get older, you look back and it means so much to you as well. And just the people in my life as well have helped me with that along the way.
Yeah, such an important thing because as we grow, we're all at different stages of our lives. So I just want to say that I'm publicly, just proud to have you on this show, and publicly proud to have, you express your faith to everyone here on this program. There's a whole lot more, you're 24 years old, you have so much more living to do, but your faith journey when you were younger was something very important to you. So I'm really glad you'd be able to share that on Journeys in Faith today. Now that blossomed into something that you do every day of your life, which is, you're an entrepreneur, you're the owner of Your Part-Time Princess, and you get to bring joy to young people, to children, through the birthday parties and events. And so we are going to talk a lot more about that on the second half of the show. We start out with that journey in faith, whatever you want to share. But just talk a little bit about how did, having that desire that you wanted to have to get involved in what you're doing now, did your faith have anything to do with that and kind of leading you into it?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think a big part of having faith is understanding the gifts and talents that God has given you. And then you have that choice and that opportunity to take those gifts and talents and decide what your path is and decide what your mission is that God is leading you towards. So I've always had an inspiration for helping children, for being creative, for a love for performance. So I found this niche idea of a business, and I thought I needed to definitely bring that into fruition and use the gifts and talents that God has given me, which are unique to each person. So I love being an entrepreneur. I love having something to show the world, something that God has given me that is very unique. And I also love to support others who are also using their gifts in that way.
Yes, you sure do. And I believe your website, I think it's yourparttimeprincess.com, if I'm correct, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Thank you.
So I'll just put that out there now in case, you're watching and you want to take out that phone or laptop and just check out her website and learn more about what she does. And we're from the greater Philadelphia area. So she serves, families and, that invite her to do this within our community here. But of course, you can check out the website no matter where you live. You never know. You might have relatives or friends who live close to southeastern Pennsylvania. And so getting back to that faith element, is there any particular devotion or saint that helps you to grow in your faith on a daily basis, or something that you do that helps you to recognize God in your daily life?
Yeah, of course. So whether I am preparing for work events, for business events, or going through my daily life, I think having that routine prayer is definitely important from when you wake up or throughout the day or whenever works for you to set your intentions for the day through the way that God is leading you and any set prayers or novenas that you have. I like to have a routine with offering up everything that goes on throughout the day before the day gets going. And I turn to some specific saints depending on what time of season or what time of year it is. My confirmation saint is Saint Faustina, so I have a devotion to her, of course. But yeah, I think the most important thing I have found within my faith journey is to have a prayer routine. Otherwise, you can go throughout your day and you can forget to offer it to God. You forget to see the blessings throughout your day. You forget to ask God to show you all the ways that he is speaking to you throughout the day, because he's always there speaking to you, but it's up to us to acknowledge it and recognize it.
Yes, very well said, because it is important to kind of, direct our intentions, right? Our intentions toward God, toward his will. And I like the fact that you integrate interceding to a saint. And Saint Faustina, of course, she was the one that was given the Chaplet of Divine Mercy. If somebody's watching this and you've never heard of that, please do just go online and maybe you can just Google Chaplet or Chaplet of Divine Mercy or Divine Mercy and learn more, because Saint Faustina was the Catholic sister, the Catholic nun that was given that by the Lord himself. So thanks for sharing on that one. And you are also a person who goes to Eucharistic adoration on a weekly basis at our parish at St. Mary's Catholic Church in Schwenksville. And I know that's really been a blessing to you. You spend that time right around the dinner hour. Tell us about that, and how has that been a blessing to you on not just on a daily or weekly basis, but it helps you in your daily life too, I believe.
So yeah, I think that having adoration or daily mass or whatever it is that works for you is a wonderful opportunity that to take advantage of if it's something that you are called to do. I think having a holy hour is very beautiful because, as mentioned, it's part of that routine, whether it's every week or however it fits into your schedule. I know some people will do a first Friday for Mass or adoration, but I think it's a wonderful time to reflect, whether you're journaling about your spiritual life and you see, the things that were kind of on your mind and the things you're bringing to God the previous week, and then you check back in about where you are now with your faith and with that day and with that week. I think it's a beautiful thing to think about all the people in your life and all the intentions that you have and offer them to God on that weekly basis for sure.
That's so good. It's a beautiful thing. And I know that you always look forward to it. And it's a great example too, I believe, to not only to people of all ages, but specifically even to people of your age bracket, where sometimes people fall away from your faith. And so it's wonderful that you have stuck with it. You really did stick with it all through high school, all through college. And, Dad and I are so proud of you. Not that this show is about my pride in you, but I think it is a great example to anybody that's watching this right now. So thank you so much. Now, there might be somebody who's watching the show right now who is away from their faith. It could be somebody of a different age bracket, maybe even somebody who's close to your age. Would you have any words of advice for them to how to get back? Because some people, they feel like maybe they got out of a routine of either prayer or going to church, going to Mass, and even caring about their religion or their faith. Is there something that you would want to say to them that might kind of encourage them to come back?
Well, it has to start with a desire from them first. So as far as any advice that I would have, I can only speak to the people who even have that desire, but I would say that, look for the messengers in your life. If you're being called back to the faith, God is going to show you a way, but your eyes are only going to be open to that if you have that desire to begin with. So God works in mysterious ways. That's all I can say on that topic.
Right. No, I agree. He does work in mysterious ways because we don't always know every day there's something new, but we have to trust God. And I think you've done an amazing job with everything in your life. Now, we devoted the first half of this show to that journey of your faith. And on the second half of the show, we really want to focus on what you're doing. We talked a little bit about your part-time princess, and we will also talk about the fact that you're going to be graduating with your MBA within a matter of weeks from Gwen and Mercy University. Very proud of you with that as well. So we'll talk about that on the second half. But is there anything else that you want to share in terms of your faith journey before we end for our commercial break?
Well, I mean, just that it's been the highlight of my life. I think having faith is what brings your entire life together. Anything that you're working on with your mission or goals that you have, they are all aligned to your faith. You can't have one without the other.
That's right. You can't have one without the other. So well said. And with that said, we are going to take a very short commercial break. So we will be back in just a few minutes with my daughter, Shawn DeSantis. See you soon. Welcome back to Journeys in Faith here on Fiat Ministry Network, Patchwork Heart Ministry. It's great to be here on this show. And as I said at the very beginning, I have a very special guest. I mean, a very special guest, because I have my daughter here with us, Shawn DeSantis. She's 24 years old. She's about to be not only a college graduate, but graduate school. She's graduating with her MBA from Gwinnett Mercy University. She is an entrepreneur of the business called Your Part-Time Princess. She does princess party events and birthdays for young children. And so why don't we start talking about, if we could, about that MBA? What drew you to want to get your MBA in, your master's in business administration from Gwinnett Mercy University?
Sure. So I've developed a strong love for business, even honestly, just the past few years. Before I decided to go to college, I didn't even have a business mindset whatsoever. But I think going through those years, maybe in the past 3 years or so, I've developed that love for learning more about all aspects of business and business management. And it did kind of come as a surprise to me as a natural creative, loving arts and theater and performing arts and creative fine arts as well. I didn't think that I would want to get an MBA degree, but after starting my business, I realized that I had this desire to learn more. And I guess the strategic part of my mind kind of kicked in, because I decided that even if I'm not necessarily wired for something like this to begin with, it's something that I am developing, and I have a real connection to business and using that gift as well. So I thought, why not go for it? And I think it'll definitely help for the future and be a wonderful degree to have and to lean on for forever, essentially. No one's going to take away your degree.
That's right. I completely 100% agree with you. Now, you also got your undergraduate from Gwinnett Mercy University in communication. Now, I know that you had the minor, so explain to them what your full major and minor was when you graduated in 2021, and also what that was like as well.
Sure. So I got my degree in communications, and then I have two minors, one in computer information science and another in music. So I wanted to just cater my degree to everything that I enjoyed and all the gifts that I've been given, so I can learn more and, will help with my future for sure.
That's right. And I love how you combined all of those things with what you do now, because it's the communications. You also had that background before in theater and in acting and things like that. And also now with business, with your part-time princess. And so this Master's of Business Administration is very helpful for all that you do in the future. So I congratulate you. I'm very excited as well for your graduation. We're taping this in early May of 2023. And of course, that graduation is coming up. Now, let's talk about your part-time princess. And again, I'm going to repeat the website. It's yourparttimeprincess.com. So make sure to go and check it out online. And how did the idea for you to get involved in the business start? You could talk about that.
Yeah, so it's been a culmination of a lot of things that I love: the business aspect, the performance, children, and being able to, bring so much joy at events. And it's definitely a niche idea that I have heard of just within a theatrical community. And I kind of decided I have all the skill set, or I can at least make ready all the skill set throughout my time doing this to come up with this idea and, work hard at it. So it was kind of a mix of hearing about some similar ideas going around and making it my own, and using the gifts and creativity that I have, because it's something that I really kind of set forth. And it's funny to me that I've been doing this for a couple years now, because I didn't have any kind of clear vision in the beginning to know where it would go. I just had a lot of hope that it would go somewhere. So now it's really a great joy to see how far it has come, and then to plan for how far it will go in the future as well.
That's right. Talk about, too, if you could, some of the types of events that you've done. I know that you do several of different princesses. That's what it is. It's a princess party birthday events. And I can tell you, being that she does live with my husband and I in this house with us, is that she's busy with it every weekend. So it's a very successful business, and she does even events sometimes during the week as well. So talk about that, because somebody might be watching and thinking, I do live in the greater Philadelphia area. I have a child. I'd love for her to do a party. So explain how that works and what you've done in the past.
Sure. So we offer princess parties, mermaids, fairies, a lot of wonderful, whimsical characters for kids' birthday parties. But yeah, so if you have a child in the area have coming up a nice birthday that you're planning, you would book with me and we would get you all set for the princess to visit the birthday party, and it'll be a wonderful event for sure. We also work with local children's businesses for events. So it's a lot of fun to do the birthday parties, but then also different story times at different venues and work with different businesses. And we do keep busy for sure. So it's a lot of fun.
You sure do. And I know you've even done things for libraries and other community events. So I just want to make that shout out to all of you. Maybe you know someone, maybe it's your neighbor, maybe it's your grandchild, maybe it's your own child, but keep your eyes and ears open and go to her website. What do you like the most about when you walk in and you're all dressed up, in whatever princess you are, and the little girl might come over to you and she's excited? What is that experience like for you when she comes over, the mother, the father, and it's just going to be a beautiful day?
Yeah, of course. So that's definitely one of the best moments. Sometimes it is a surprise for the child. So that is always really special to see their reaction and all the other kids and parents that are also there as well. But that is definitely one of the best moments because each kid reacts differently, which is fun to see. And they typically get very excited. And it's a very special moment for photos and to get to know the family and all the kids and parents that are there too.
Yes, that's right. It's really great. And also, can you tell us about which areas now, like I said, people watch the show. We have people that watch it from all over the United States and even sometimes even outside of the United States because it's online. But there are a lot of people who are watching that are from Montgomery County, Bucks County, Philadelphia, wherever. What are some of those surrounding communities that you've served? If you could just give us some names there, if it's some of the towns or communities that you've worked in.
Sure. So all of the surrounding counties for sure, all the ones that you had just listed, we do travel. And, that's the great thing that to even if you are a bit further, most of the time we can make it work if it is within reason. So yeah, it's not just the remote area, but a lot of the surrounding counties as well.
Thank you so much. Now, you're an entrepreneur as well. I mean, that's an exciting thing. You're 24 years old. There's not many people in your age bracket that have their own LLC. And so I wondered if you could explain to people who are watching what that's like. And somebody also might be watching and thinking, you know what, I would love to start my own business of sorts. I don't know what that is, but I'm just saying they might be watching and they have a certain interest. What was that like for you in all of that planning? Because I know that there was a lot to go, involved in that. You even had to talk to a lawyer, get things set up, get the LLC. And so what is that process like for someone who might be curious or interested in it for themselves? Maybe not necessarily with what you do, but something else.
Sure. So my best advice and idea is to start small when you get started. I think it's wonderful to have big ideas, big dreams, big hopes that you need to have, but you don't want to feel any kind of overwhelmed or that it's impossible, because if you start small, anything can be possible to grow into whatever you want it to grow into. So don't let any big ideas scare you off, because you can start somewhere. That's how all great ideas start for sure.
Mm. And you really balance very well too, I will say, like your undergrad degree, because you went to Gwinnett Mercy University. You did not live there. You chose to live at home and commute, and that was what worked best for you. And I think you really did enjoy that experience. And you balanced working when you were in college. And then now you also balance that with your business and even with other, other jobs that you've had, other things that you've done over the years. Do you have any suggestions also for people watching on how do you balance everything so well? Because you really do a great job with balancing your business, doing everything on your own, so you're a real and true leader. And I really mean that. And I think it's an exciting thing. And maybe you can be helpful to other people who would like to do the same kind of thing, be more of a, in a leadership position where they can have their own business and make their own decisions the way that you do.
Sure. So I think it's all about time management and priorities, different times throughout the day for different tasks and obligations that you might have with work or job or your own business or school. That's what it's about, putting those things first and having your priorities.
Yes, thank you. That's great because I think it's all about when you wake up in the morning, it's sort of that mindset of one step at a time, right? I mean, all of us have to do everything one step at a time in all that we do. And you certainly do a great job. Is there anything else that you want to share about your business? Is there any upcoming events that are happening over this coming summer or over this year that you want to share with our audience?
Sure. So we always have different events and local opportunities coming up. This summer, we're gearing up for a lot of exciting things with outdoor events and mermaids and story time. So it's going to be a lot of fun for sure. We are still taking bookings for June, July, and August. So if you are in the area, please reach out. The email is yourparttimeprincess@gmail.com. That's the best way to request a date for the summer or spring or fall or whenever. And I'd be happy to chat. So it'll be an exciting few months for sure.
Absolutely. And, you're 24 years old. You've accomplished so much already. I am personally excited for you with everything that's happening in your life, but most of all, just for who you are as a child of God and how God has worked in your life since you've been born and baptized and just living out your faith every day of your life. So, I just want to make it known that how proud mom and dad are of you and your family and people that are watching that know you and they agree with what I'm saying, that you really have done so much and are a wonderful and awesome person. Is there anything else that you want to share on your faith life? Let's kind of go back to that and want to end also talking a little bit more about your part-time princess.
Sure. I think that God is always speaking to you about your mission in life, and you have to keep your eyes and ears open and trust in Him. That's all I can say right now for my faith journey.
That's right. Yeah, it is really all about trust. I think it's about trust, prayer, taking the time. You're doing all the right things, with all that you do. You're staying close to your Catholic faith, care about it. It's important to you in your daily life. So that's great. And anything else to say about your business? Because I know we talked about upcoming events and things that might be happening, but you're graduating from college, you have your business, you have other things that are going on in your life. I didn't know if you had anything else that you wanted to share.
I'm just, thankful for everything that's going on. I'm glad that I'm doing what I'm doing, and I really appreciate being on this show today. So thank you for having me.
Oh my gosh, it is my honor, of course. As I said from the very beginning, it's not just a special guest, it's a very special guest. So we'll have to have you back again, Shawn, because I know you're going to have a lot more updates, a lot more things to share. Did you have any final words before we end?
I just hope that everyone who's listening has enjoyed, and thank you for tuning in. I hope that, this spoke to everyone's personal faith journey as well. And it's been a wonderful time.
It certainly has. God bless you, Shawn. And we'll see all of you here next week on Journeys in Faith with Anne DeSantis on Fiat Ministry Network. See you then.
Journeys of Faith is a production of Fiat Ministry Network and Patchwork Heart Ministry. For more information about Journeys of Faith, email info@fiatministrynetwork.tv. And be sure to friend, follow, and like us on social media. Just search Journeys in Faith with Anne DeSantis.